Hi everyone, this is Dakota from becomingaprogrammer.com, and in this video we're going to continue the series on building a Hacker News clone in AngularJS. Last time we put together a custom directive that is displaying all of this information from the Hacker News API based on the ID. There's an endpoint that they give you that shows you the top 500 stories and their IDs, and we created a custom directive that would take that ID for each story and then pull in this information. And in this video, we're going to go about adding pagination to this so that we can go through 30 of these stories at a time, so we don't have to load all 500 of them at once. Okay, so the basic concept of pagination in this project is to slice up our array of 500 stories into pages of 30 stories each. And the reason why we do this is to make it easier for our page to load. If we had any kind of imagery here, for instance, the load of processing 500 images would be significantly different from the load of 30 images. So we paginate for the sake of performance. But what if we're sorting alphabetically and we're looking for a record that starts with L? We're going to have to either guess what page that one's on, or hopefully we've got some sort of search to filter the list. If we want to extend this application and add searching and filtering, it's easy to see how our implementation of pagination could become more complicated. And this is especially true if we were to roll our own pagination in the controller. If we did this, we could add a property to keep track of the current page, how many items there are in the list, adding a number of links to navigate the pages that would navigate to different slices of the array. But what if we filter the list? Now there aren't as many results. We also have to update the pagination controls and make sure we adjust the number of pages. Okay, so what do? So when I started looking for ways of adding pagination to this top stories view, I ended up coming across a library developed by Michael Bromley for AngularJS Pagination. And I just want to pull this up here so you can see where it is. It's on a GitHub here. So this library is designed to be a plug-and-play solution for pagination in AngularJS. And in order to do this, the library creates a custom directive attribute, dir-paginate, that uses ng-repeat under the hood, extending its functionality by adding pagination. The library also adds another directive element, dir-pagination-controls, which creates the pagination links using a template that you'll be able to edit. And there's a little demo you can look at on Plunker just to see what it's going to look like. So you've got something like this. This is using Bootstrap to style. But when you click on these, and then like if you filtered this to cheese, now you see the number of links changes, so it's handling that. Okay, so let's get started adding the library to our Hacker News clone. The first thing we're going to want to do is to open up our terminal, and we're going to install it using this command. It's npm install angular-utils-pagination. And then npm is going to do its thing. And now we should have that stuff in our project. And we can check in the node modules folder. That sure doesn't seem like it's there. Let me see. Maybe I need to refresh. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so there's the stuff we need now. We can inject the module as a dependency in app.js. So we're going to open that guy up, and then we're going to want in our dependency array here to add Angular utils.directives.dir-pagination, and then save that. And then we are also going to want to add a script tag in our index.html file so that we can load the parts of the library we're going to be using. So let's open that guy up and then add in these scripts. Oh, don't have that snippet here. So JS, no. It's in. Actually, I want to load this before we load app.js so that it knows about it. So node modules. Wait. And then Angular utils pagination. And then dir-pagination.js. And that's all the directives are, or both of the directives are defined in that file. Okay, so save that guy. And at this point, I'm going to reload the page on our local server here. Make sure everything's still working. Okay, so no console errors. That looks good. So let's add this to our repository and commit those changes. Okay. Directive from Michael Bromley. Okay, so we got those in our repository. Great. And then to get going, we need to use this new directive. We have the dir-paginate directive. To get an idea how to do this, the documentation is actually a very good place to start. So you can see here that it's got basically we have a dir-paginate directive, and then we're passing an expression, and then we're passing a filter here, and then we need to itemsPerPage, and we have to put in either an integer or an expression. And we remember there's actually a warning elsewhere saying that you want to be putting it at the end, because you want the pagination to be the last thing that's being controlled for. But there's a bunch of examples of how to set this up. For us, the main things we need are the expression, and this is the one that's going to be fed to ng-repeat. So in our case, it's in the top stories view here. This is our expression that we're going to be passing to it, and then we're going to want to change. We're going to pass in itemsPerPage and have that be 30, and that will handle what we need for here. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the ng-repeat here to dir-paginate, and then we got story in vm.stories, which is right. That's what we want. And then we're going to pipe the filter itemsPerPage and then put in 30 here. And then we save this and reload. We just have 30, which is great. That's what we wanted. But problem is we just have 30 and we can't see the rest of them. So the next thing we have to do is add the dir-pagination controls directive to add the pagination links. And to do that, we need to add in that directive. So in this instance, the directive behaves as a custom element. And you can see in this here, we have a description of what we need to do for it. These are optional items. I don't think we're going to even mess with anything. I think we're just going to use the defaults. And like literally all you have to do to add this is put in this directive. And when you save that and you reload here, now you have pagination links. And when you click them, you get new. Yeah, the issue with this is like, okay, protecting privacy in genomic databases, right? And then we click on the third pages, and now it's the people's code. So it's working, it's paginated everything, but we have a problem because now each page is is listing the stories from 1 to 30. They're different stories, but we don't know what number belongs to which story. Like numbers 31, 61, 91, all of them are labeled 1. And that's because we're displaying these stories in an ordered list, and each page has 30 items in the list, so it's going to start from 1. Hi everyone, this is an editing sidebar here. If you're following this tutorial pretty easily, you're comfortable with Angular and you're in a hurry, I would suggest skipping the next video and moving on with the tutorial. In the next video, I'm going through a solution to this numbering problem that involves the Tachyon CSS library and JavaScript's index_of method. This section definitely has educational value for beginners, especially in that it highlights an important example of how to apply the concept of separation of concerns to an actual project. In particular, it can help show you how to diagnose trouble spots in your thinking about solving problems by watching my mistake and how I correct it. But I imagine that if you're in a big hurry, you might rather skip to the following video where I implement a better solution that reflects a deeper understanding of Michael Bromley's pagination library and uses a property of an ordered list that actually has better browser support than I initially thought. That's the start property of ordered list that allows you to tell it which number to start counting at. Again, thanks for listening, and I really appreciate any feedback you have on these tutorials, specifically what you like about them and what you think I could improve. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.